Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bernadette Pillar Real Estate Broadcast. I'm your host, Mike Gonzalez, alongside, of course, Bernadette Pillar, our designated broker. And we have a special guest today with us, Chad Thomas, our primary lender from Q Home Loans. All right, Bernadette, let's get right into it. It's been an interesting market, to say the least, lately. What are you hearing from buyers?
Buyers are asking, is it a good time to buy with all the increase in interest rates? So I thought that today would be a good day to talk with our expert on the matter, Chad Thomas, my primary lender, and let him take it away.
Great.
Hi, Chad.
Hi there. So obviously everyone has heard that the rates are really, really high right now. So at the beginning of this year, January of 2022, the rate was around 3.25 on a 30-year fixed. Today, the rates are closer to 7%. So that's a massive move upward in just under a year. The Fed has done this because property values were growing so fast that affordability couldn't keep up. People couldn't continue to afford these houses as they got more and more expensive. So the Federal Reserve's plan and idea was to increase interest rates to reduce the demand and reduce the number of home buyers out there to more closely match the number of sellers in the market. So what we've had over the last few years is a very severe shortage of homes for sale. So as a buyer, we've had to be very aggressive in how we offer. People are waiving home inspections sometimes. They're offering above appraised value, above list price. So those kinds of things were going on because the market was there were so many buyers and so few sellers. It puts us in a situation the Federal Reserve likes to call forced selling or forced bidding. Sorry, a buyer has to be forced to place a bid that maybe they're not comfortable with in order to get a home. So the Fed has intervened by doing multiple interest rate increases, trying to slow down the economy and slow down housing. To some degree, that's worked. They have destroyed demand for homes from a lot of home buyers. What they've done by increasing the interest rates as much as they've had, a lot of our clients who were approved can no longer afford the higher payments. So those buyers have kind of dropped out of the market at this point, which has brought us more into equilibrium with how many sellers are out there selling. The idea that the Fed had was to try and get the average days on market for a home that gets listed to be between 20 and 40 days on market. That allows buyers plenty of time to see multiple homes, to think about it. We used to make a joke, if you sleep on it, you'll never sleep in it. So once you see the house, you didn't have time to even sleep on it overnight. You had to get an offer in that day. So with this, their plan was to slow down that market to a point where people could consider, they could write offers on and look at multiple properties, those kinds of things. That worked to a degree. And then inflation has continued to accelerate to a point where the Fed has had to become more and more and more aggressive with more and more and more rate hikes. So we're in a situation now where the federal or the people who are locked in at 3% that already own homes are afraid to list their house and buy another home at 7%. So what that's done is it's locked up that inventory. So what the Federal Reserve was hoping would happen is that more homes would come on the market, which would kind of drive the prices down. Now, we have not seen that. The number of listings have remained pretty well constant. They increased a little bit at the beginning of the year, and now they've backed off again. So that is not what the Federal Reserve wants to see, and it's not fixing the problem of housing prices going up too rapidly. So a quick answer to your question, is this a good time to buy? If you can afford it, and if your budget will handle these higher rates right now is a very good time to buy, because I don't see the housing market correcting in terms of prices falling, at least in our market. With in order for prices to fall, we would have to see more inventory. And
like
we're
you
not
said,
seeing-
like you said, Chad, who's going to come on the market when they've got a 3% interest rate, and
Right.
to buy something else, they'd have to go to a 7% interest rate.
Exactly. And the builders can't build homes fast enough to increase the supply. I think we've got about 500,000 people in Spokane County, roughly, and we have about 12 to 1,400 listings on any given day right now. So that's not very many houses for as many people as we have living in this community, and people have to have a place to live. And so just based on the supply of houses and the fact that home prices, I can't see them coming down, because there's always going to be somebody there that needs to buy that house, and we have a very limited supply of housing. Now would be a good time, in my opinion, to buy a house. We do believe rates are going to come down starting next or probably around February, March of next year. Even Fannie Mae, who's kind of the big reinsurer of mortgages nationwide, they're projecting rates next spring and summer to be around 4.5%. I agree with them. That's where I think we're going to be around that time period. So if you did buy a house right now, and even if your rate was 7%, by buying it now, you get to lock in today's pricing, assuming prices continue to increase. And I think they will. I think our housing prices in Spokane, I would predict an increase of between 5 and 6% next year. Between now and this time next year, I guess is a better way to say that. So
Right.
if you can lock in the price now, get a higher interest rate, then after about 6 months, we can look at refinancing that and dropping that interest rate down, assuming the rates do what we think they're going to do. And if the rates do fall back down, as we expect, then you're going to see those housing prices take off faster than my estimate. So if all of a sudden the rates fall back to 4.5, all these people who have been excluded from the market, all of these buyers, they're going to want to come back in, and they're going to want to buy houses, which is going to put you in a forced bidding situation again, because you've got a lot more buyers and few houses on the market. So I think that to protect the value and the price of the home now, so the market doesn't pass you by, now is a good time to buy. We say sometimes you marry the house and you date the interest rate. We'll get you into the house now, and then we'll turn around and we'll refinance it and find you something better down the road.
Chad, real quickly, as we bring this podcast to a close, just because interest rates have gone up, it doesn't mean there's still FHA loans, low down payment loans, there's VA financing. So there's still those special incentive programs that are out there, and you could take opportunity of, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, right?
Yeah, there's tons. There's zero down, lots of zero down options. There's a very strong 3% down first-time homebuyer conventional loan, FHA loans at 3.5% down, or the zero down option that we can tie in with an FHA loan. So there's still lots of alternatives like that. The programs are still here. In 2008, when there was an actual collapse in housing prices, all the programs went away. We're not at that point here. We still have all the programs. It's just that in order for investors to feel comfortable investing in mortgage-backed securities, they have to make sure that their return exceeds what the inflation is going to do. So we need the Fed to stop this inflation, which will then bring the rates back down. And that's what we expect will happen by March.
Well, that there is some good news there then. Real quickly, can you tell everybody how we can get a hold of you, Bernadette and Chad?
So
Sure.
I can be reached at my office, 509-598-8570. But the contact number that I have pretty much placed in my hip is my 509-868-9181. 509-868-9181. Chad?
Yeah, my cell phone number is 509-216-5555. And I answer that cell phone 24/7. So if you call me on a weekend, you're going to catch me as just like Bernadette and Mike do. We want to be available for you. Real estate is not, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. It happens after hours on weekends. So reach out to me at that number anytime. You can also pull up my website anytime at www.chadthomas.com.
All right, Chad and Bernadette Pillar. Chad Thomas, Q Home Loans. Bernadette Pillar, designated broker, Bernadette Pillar Real Estate. I'm Mike Gonzalez. Thanks for watching this podcast. We'll have another one for you soon. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.